What is up guys, Phoenix here, and today we're going to be building the first survival house I've done on the channel. The build was inspired by ADHD Crafts. If you're wondering why it looks so familiar, I got permission from him to use one of his structures to build Entity 303. So shout outs to him, links to his channel will be in the description, but I'm pretty sure you guys know about that madman. So to start off, we're going to go over the color palette. So I have oak wood, I think, oak door, sorry, that I use for the inside right there to start off. Then we have light gray wool, black wool, white wool, redstone block or a block of redstone. Then I have cyan stained clay or cyan hardened clay, and then I have light gray stained glass. So here we're going to be using those 7 colors. There might be other stuff to use, but those are going to be the main ingredients to start us off. So let's find a plot of land and we'll start building this thing. Alright, so now that we found our nice plot of land to start off, what we're going to do first is we're going to start off the build with a nice set of 16 flat going to the right. So let's lay that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And what we're going to do from there is we're going to split up where the hands begin and where the chest and stuff starts too. So counting out the first 4 blocks in this set of 16, we're gonna add 11 to the front of them. And you can actually, now that I think about it, you only need to add 11 to the first and 4th block. So let's add 11, and we'll swap out colors as they're needed later. We just need to get the frame shaped out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're gonna add another 11 to this 4. So this is 2 already. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you can connect them now at the tip right there. And once you do that, you can even bring them up to a height of 4. So we can add 3 to the tops, 2, 3, 4. And we're just creating a giant rectangle. And if you've built one of ADHD's statues, it's the same dimensions. It's just going to be a different build. So once you have the things at a height of 4, whoops, I got ahead of myself. You can connect them at the top so you can make everything meet up and create this just giant rectangle. And like I said, don't worry about colors yet. We will swap colors out later. I just want to get the basics set up so that way it's a lot easier for me to work through. So now we're going to count 8 spaces over. And these you can just put like placement blocks in front of it if you want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And those 8 right there are going to get actually brought out only about 4 blocks. So you want them 5 in thickness. So let's have that going. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can just extend that out as well. And then you can make it meet up with whatever it has right here. Now let's focus on the other end 4, which is going to be an exact copy over there. But if you didn't understand what we did over there too well, maybe I need to repeat it. So what we're going to do is go to the first block and the final block in our little 4 flat right here, and we're going to add 11 forward to them, so that it can become 12 in length. So we already have 1, we need 11 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do that to the next one. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we can bring it up, adding 3 to the corners. So that's 4 high. So we add 1, 2, 3. Those are 2 corners. Let's find the 3rd corner over here. 2, 3, 4. And the final corner, 2, 3, 4. And once you have that, you can make them connect by filling in the gaps between the corners. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So once you have that, you should have the arms complete. And we actually just need to do some of the chest stuff, and then we can start working on the head and then even filling in stuff. So for the height, it needs to be about 10 blocks high. We already have the first layer here, so let's do the center chest area, and then we can make the arms meet up with it. So we already have 1 right here. Let's add 9 to the center chest area right here. And we're gonna just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we can make everything else reach this height on the center chest build kind of thing. So we're not filling in any of the centers yet. As you can see, we're finding the 4 corners of the thing we're building. And what we're doing with those corners is we're just elevating them to a height of 10. And then like closing them out, kind of like what we did with the arms. So everything's at a height of 10 right now. And you should have a frame that looks like this. Now the shoulder, the back part of the shoulder is actually going to end at the same height as the chest right here. So what we're going to do is go to each shoulder part where the line, you see the line right here, meets up with this part of the arm. And from this point backwards is going to be that same height. So let's mark it off and actually just bring it up to that point. Like that. So now you can see which part of the arm goes that high and the other part doesn't. Now if you want, you can fill in the parts behind it, but I'm just going to do like the same kind of rectangle thing we're doing. We're not going to fill it all in yet, because the reason I'm not filling it all in, guys, is because if you saw the thumbnail, there are going to be little spots of white and light gray and cyan stained clay that make up the arm coloring, and I don't want to do that and then delete it and redo it again. So I'm just doing the basic frame first, and then we'll worry about coloring in later. And after we even do coloring in, we're going to be worrying about knocking out some of the blocks for glass. So next we're going to do that to the opposite arm as well. Let's bring the shoulder part. See how the arm lines up here? Let's bring it over, and you can elevate it to the same height. Now I am filling in the front part of this right here, which I said I wasn't going to do filling in, but that's just so that you can see where the arm ends at the same height as the chest. And above this part of the chest anyways is going to be where the head starts. So I just want you to have like a nice foundation for everything, and then the coloring part will be that much easier. So looking at the back, this is perfect for the back. We can start the head now, and the arm and stuff is perfect as well. We can actually start coloring that after we're done with the head. So what we're going to do is go to the 8 center blocks that we have for the chest right here. And let me get a dirt block so I can use it for placements. So the 8 center that we have for the chest, it's very easy to tell where the chest is just because if you look down, you can see which part is not lined up with the arm. So what we're going to do is count 2 forward from the body like so with 8 rows. And on this second row above it, we're going to put light gray wool for 8 flat. And the way you do the head on these types of builds is the front part of the head hangs over 2, while the back of it hangs over 1 past the frame. So once we have that on the second set right there, we can go and do the back row real quick. So we're going to go to each end of this 8 flat and extend it back 8. Or extend it back 7, because we already have 1 right here. We need it to be 8 in length. The head is going to be an 8 by 8 cube, by the way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's what I was talking about when I said it extends 1 past the frame. You see it hangs over by 1 block. Let's do this to the opposite side and see if it meets up as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's perfect. So now you can lock out the cube or lock out the square, and we can turn this into a cube now by raising the corners up to equal 8, and then just making everything connect. So we already have 1 right here. Let's add 7 to the top of each corner. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next corner. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Third corner. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And final corner. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now you can just lock out the tops and make everything meet up, and it's very easy to do. And then we're going to work on inner detail, because we actually finished the frame now, believe it or not, and now we just need to get the detail done. And the details are one of the hardest parts just because there's so much stuff to do, but it's also the most fun part because that's when the build starts looking like what it's supposed to. So let's actually start on stuff that's symmetrical that you can do to both sides. So starting off, what we're going to do is the first 2 rows of the fist are gonna actually be black wool. So these are the first 2 rows right here. And you don't have to fill in the inner parts of it, because the inner parts are going to be what you're going to walk around if you want to live inside in it. So make sure you're not filling in blocks that are only visible from the inside. You want to fill in the blocks that are only visible from the outside. So as you can see, I'm going around the outside of it. And I'm not filling it in here, but on the fist, the end of the fist, since this is looking into the house, you want to fill this in with black. So that's what I meant by blocks that are only visible from the outside, you want to fill in. So the first 2 rows on both hands will be black wool. And you can also use dark gray wool, but I use black for this just because I like the way the black looked on Entity 303. So let's do the second arm now, or the second hand. And this is just going over like the basic skin stuff. So if you already know how the skin looks and you want to like customize it your own, because I do know there's a bunch of builds for how Entity 303 looks on the skins, and I just went with this one and also made it a little bit of my own because some of the stuff on it is not actually canon for what Entity 303 looks like. But anyways, for the rest of the arm, what we're gonna do is on the left and right sides, we're gonna extend it just so that we can tell where the arm ends and separates from the rest of the body. We're gonna swap it with the cyan clay and just extend it all the way to the back of the build. So just follow this all the way up, around the top, and to the back. And I think we're gonna extend it down as well, to the back, to the ground. So once you're at the back, bring it down to the ground and you should be good to go. And there's gonna be 4 lines, of course, because both arms are gonna get 2 of these cyan lines. And once you have both arms done, that's gonna be 2 for 2, which is 2 times 2. Let's drop some math on y'all. I remember one of my subs saw that I was doing the math thing in one of my pixel art videos, and they were like dropping some knowledge. So I thought that was pretty funny. Anyways, going back to the cyan clay, once you have that, we're gonna do the other arm as well. And I know this takes a bit of time, but remember, we're only doing the blocks that are visible from the outside. So like just what I did right there, for example, this block right here is visible from the outside, but on the inner part right here, you can't see it, this corner piece, because that's on the inside of the house. So that's why I did that corner right there. Anyways, that's the 2 on the left arm. Let's go to the right arm. And this is gonna take a bit of time for filling in, guys, but I don't want to time lapse some of it for you guys, because I feel like this is one of my first times doing this on the channel. So if I feel like if I time lapse it, you might get lost, as opposed to one of the survival house channels. When they do it, they've done so many of these builds that it's easier for them to do it. It's kind of like my pixel art tutorials, for example. I know which parts I can time lapse for you guys because I've done so many of them that you guys know what parts that I'm not really gonna show because they're not necessary. Anyways, let's go to the final part of the arm and get this ring going, and then we can worry about the details. The detail on the arm is my favorite part because it has such a nice mix of light gray and white that it makes the skin come together, because right now it just looks kind of bland. Alright, so that's the 4th line. And now we can actually worry about some of the detail. And before I move on to the inner detail of the chest, I'm going to do the arms, like I said. So going from the arms right here, the first row is going to have 2 light grays. And that's on both sides, so you can do that. You can just go between both sides as I'm talking. But they're going to be mirrors of each other, so that's another tricky part. So after that, we're going to have white wool. White wool again. White wool a 3rd time. And we can do that with both arms, just 3 rows of white wool. And then here's where it starts to get a little bit difficult. On the left arm, we're going to put gray, white. Whoops, wrong color. And on the right arm, we're going to put white, gray. We're working from left to right, by the way. So just so you don't get confused. And then we're going to scale up the arm. So let's get rid of some of this coloring right here. We don't need that part. I just used that. Why did I fill that in, actually, now that I think about it? Maybe it was because when I was raising the height, I wanted the connection there, but we don't need that there. So now climbing up the arm, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go white, gray, sorry. So this is the opposite of what we had right here. We're then gonna go 2 rows of white, a row of gray, white, a full row of gray, then a full row of white. That's a tongue twister if I've ever heard one. So we're going to be doing the front row of the build, now that I think about it. Then we'll work on the sides, and then we'll work on the back. And that should be a lot easier, because once you finish looking at it from the front, it becomes a lot easier to know what you're missing from it. Anyways, we're going to do the exact opposite. It's going to be a mirror onto the right side of what we did here, but I'm still going to cover it like if it's like if you guys can't mirror it like yourself. Anyways, the next row right here is going to be gray white. Then 2 full rows of white. Then a row of white, then light gray. Then a full row of light gray, ending off with a full row of white. And my tongue keeps getting twisted by saying right and white and light and stuff like that, but hopefully I'm able to get it all out in a coherent message to you guys. Anyways, going to the front of the chest now, we're going to start working our way from the bottom. So we can delete the bottom row right here as long as you know where we're working at. And we're going to start off by going white, light gray, white, 2 doors, and then we're just going to mirror what we do on the left side to the right. So it's going to be white, light gray, white. So if you can work a little bit faster, once we reach around the 4th block, just do the exact opposite or same to the opposite side and you should be fine. So let me delete the left side of this frame up until the top block, and we will work our way up. And then we will do the face. And the face is my favorite part of the skin, to be honest. It looks so cool. And once we're done with the outer detail, you'll be deleting blocks like this from the inside that you won't be able to see, because you want to make sure you have movement space to add your bed and stuff like that to the inside. And I might show you guys what I did to the interior a bit, but I didn't do too much to it. Like, I just made it look okay, I guess. Anyways, for the next row, we're gonna go light gray. Then we're going to go one of our glass blocks. You can use white stained glass or light gray, it doesn't matter. Then we're going to go white again. Skipping because there's 2 doors here, and we're going to do the same thing. White, light gray. White grass, sorry, then light gray. I'm going to start going a little bit faster now. For the 3rd row, we're going to have light gray again. 2 pieces of white wool. 2 light gray. 2 pieces of white wool again, and then a light gray. Next row, light gray again. And then we're gonna have a full row of white up until the final block where we'll have light gray again, because we need to mirror what we did to the left to the right. After that, we're gonna have 2 white wool on top, 4 light gray, and then 2 white wool again. Following that up, we're going to have 3 white, 2 pieces of stained glass, 3 white, and that should end that row. And if you don't want these whites, these glass here, you can put light gray there or white, and it should look fine. But I found when you were in the inside, if you didn't have these glass here, I felt kind of claustrophobic. I felt like there was no space. So you will see once we get inside that even with the glass here, sometimes it feels kind of like clogged up, but it looks fine. Anyways, for the next row, what we're going to do is have 3 pieces of light gray, 2 white, and then 3 pieces of light gray again. After that, we're going to have 1 light gray, and a full set of white all the way till the end where we have light gray again. Now we have 2 more rows left. This row right here full of gray, I didn't knock it out, but we can knock it out now. It's right below the face. And we are going to color that with a separate type of coloring, so that's why I'm going to knock it out now. So for the second to last row, we're going to put light gray, 2 white, 2 blacks, 2 white, and then a light gray. And then for the final row, we're going to put light gray, 1 white, 4 blacks, 1 white, and 1 light gray. And now this should be right below the face where we can start the chin and stuff. So I didn't really put too much thought into down here. All I did was add a full row of light gray. If there's supposed to be like maybe white mixed in there, I'm sorry, but it is kind of like a shadow underneath the chin, so I figured light gray was fine there. And we already have like pretty much the entire front build. Let's do the face. So for the face, it's gonna be a lot of detail because I did do a lot of interchangeable colors and stuff, and I did like what I did with it, so just bear with me if you guys aren't able to follow along perfectly, but it should be fine. Starting in the bottom left corner and bottom right corner, we're gonna put white wool. And then the 4 middle blocks in this bottom row are going to be white as well. So it should look like this: white, light gray, 4 whites, 1 light gray, 1 white. And I think I'm going to just go row by row, kind of like we did with the body, because the way I just did it kind of felt kind of odd. So next row is going to be 2 light grays, 4 blacks, I keep missing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 light grays again. Third row is going to be 1 white, 6 blacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1 white at the end. Fourth row is going to be 1 light gray, 2 blocks of redstone, 2 blacks, 2 blocks of redstone, and 1 light gray. Row above that is going to be light gray again, 2 rows of redstone, 2 rows of black, and 2 sets of redstone again. So it's kind of a mimicking set. And pretty much we're done with redstone for the rest of the pixel art, believe it or not. We only needed it for those 8 blocks. Anyways, the row above that is going to have 2 sets of light gray, 4 sets of black, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 sets of light gray again. And now we only have 2 rows left. We're going to start off with the cyan stained clay, then a light gray wool, then 4 sets of black, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to finish with the same thing, a light gray and a cyan. And now we're on the final part. So the final part of the head is going to go 2 cyan stained clay, 4 white, so we just swap that out, and then 2 cyan stained clay again. And that's it for the front part of the build. We're actually done with that, believe it or not. Now the rest of it can be a little bit easy. You can just go crazy with some light gray, but I liked doing some of the detail that I did, so we're gonna do that. So for the inner part of the arms right here, I just colored this all light gray. I didn't really have any fancy patterns for it, and I don't think that it mattered because it was on the inside. So when stuff is on the inside like that, it's kind of shadowed down there, so it's hard to get like texture. Like if you're looking at it from your real arms point of view, it's shaded under there. So I only did detail on the outside. So let's go to the left and right side of the build, and we can work on that next. So going to the left side of the build, or I'm gonna start on this part. Don't know what you call this. This is your right, but his left arm. Okay. So on the right side of it, we're going to start there. And if you know how to mimic things pretty well, you should be able to mimic this to the other side without watching it. But I will do the other side for you guys. So going with the cyan stained clay, once we have the bottom right here, we want to fill this bottom row with it as well before we start. Also, make sure this corner is filled in. You don't have to do the corner inside, but on the outside, the corner needs to be filled in. And you should have this empty canvas of an arm. So the first row of the arm is going to have 4 pieces of white wool. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 pieces of light gray. 2 pieces of white. And 1 piece of light gray. Second row is going to have 5 pieces of white wool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 piece of light gray. And then 3 pieces of white. Row after that is going to have 1 white wool, 1 light gray, and 1 white. Row after that is going to have light gray, white, light gray. Next row is going to be light gray, then 2 sets of white. And now we only have 3 rows left before we're done with this arm, and we can actually just jump to the other side and do that arm, or we can finish the face, which I think we're going to do the side of the face, so we'll do that. Anyways, next row is going to have 3 sets of white. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a bird outside my freaking window, and that's pretty annoying. Like, it's never there. I don't know why it's there right now. Maybe I'm just one with nature. But anyways, for the second to last row, we're going to have light gray, white, and then a set of light gray. And then for the final row, we're going to have white and then 2 pieces of light gray. And that's it for the arm. You can actually go and mimic this to the opposite side, but I'm going to go and do that in a bit. But instead, we're going to do the top part of the build and the left side of the face, sorry. So for the left side of the face, what we're going to do is put 2 whites right here, starting from the first row. We're then going to go up from this and put 2 light gray. From there, we're going to have 1 white and 1 light gray. And the reason I haven't jumped over yet is because we're going to do some glass stuff. So for the glass stuff, what I'm going to do is once you have those 2 rows like this, we're going to have 2 vertical pane of glass. Then on the bottom row, we're going to extend it over 3. 1, 2, 3. And on the final block, we're going to just add 1 to the top. We're then going to go in between the 2 top blocks and put 1 white wool. And then just to finish off the row, the bottom row is going to get 1 white and the top is going to get light gray. And that's that for the lower half of the face. We're going to keep rising up with it. Next row is going to have 2 light grays, 4 white, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me see, maybe we can extend it over a 5th one. Let's try 5 white. I think I did 5. The row after that's going to be exact copy, so 2 light gray, then 5 white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then finishing off with the light gray we have in the corner there. So now we only have 3 more rows. This top row is actually complete as it is. We just need to add cyan stained clay to the right, so it's 2. But it was pretty much fine as it was. So we only have 2 rows left actually. So for the second to last row, we're going to put 3 light grays, 3 whites, and then 2 light grays to close out the shape. And then to finish off the head, we're just going to go to the cyan we have right here and put 2 light grays to the right, 2 white wool, and then 3 light gray wool. And that's it for that part of the head. Now for the top of the arm right here, we're going to have 2 rows of white wool. Then we're going to have a white and a light gray. Then a light gray and a white. Then a white and a light gray. And then 2 rows of white. That should be it for the top of the shoulder. We're not going to worry about the back yet. We'll do the entire back of the build last. But yeah. So let's go to the opposite side. We're going to basically mimic what we did here to the opposite side. So if you can do that, you can skip to the part of the tutorial where I'm going to the back of it. But I'm still going to go over and do it right now. You can color the top in, actually, I guess, with light gray as well. I didn't have too many ideas of what to do to the top of it because I feel like nobody would ever see the top of the build unless you actually just climb up there. So if you want to make a little weird pattern on the top, that's fine, but I left it kind of the same. Anyways, let's go to the opposite side of the build and worry about that arm now. And we're going to just do what we did to the opposite side where we have the bottom row with the cyan stained clay for the base. And I'm going to keep calling it stained clay because they changed the name on me and I felt comfortable calling it stained, and now that it's called hardened, I don't like it. So I'm going to just keep calling it what I called it all along. Anyways, starting the arm now, what we're going to do is it's going to be the exact same thing we did to the opposite side except mimicked. So yeah, all we're going to do is go 4 left with our white wool. I think it was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2 light gray. Yep, it was 4 white. Then 2 white. Then 1 light gray. Next row is going to be 5 white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 light gray. And then 3 white wool. And now we're at the easy part of the arm because there's only rows of 3. So we're going to go white, light gray, white. Light gray, white, light gray. 2 pieces of white. 1 light gray, 3 pieces of white, light gray, white, light gray, and then finishing off the arm, 2 light gray, 1 white. Now for the top of the arm, we're gonna have 2 flat white, then we're gonna have light gray, white, white, light gray, white, and then 2 flat white wool. Very easy to do. And now we're actually right back at the opposite side of the face. So that went pretty quickly. All we're gonna do is mimic what we did to the opposite side to this. So we're gonna start with 2 flat. Then I believe a full row of light gray. 1 light gray on the next row. Or 1 light gray added onto what we already had, followed by 4 glass, then 1 white wool and 1 light gray, Next row had 1 white, 1 light gray, then 1 glass, 2 white, 1 glass again, and then 2 light gray. And working from right to left is kind of weird for me. I might work from left to right just to make it a little easier on myself. So sorry about that. For the next row, we're gonna have a light gray, 5 white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 light gray. Row after that's gonna be exact copy. So 1 light gray, 5 white again, followed by 2 light gray. And we only have 3 more rows left, or like I did on the opposite side, this row is pretty much done. All we have to do is add an extra cyan clay to the left right there. So on the second to last row, we're gonna put 2 light gray, 3 white, and then 3 light gray, 1, 2, and the third one's already there. And for the final row, we're gonna put 3 light gray, 1, 2, 3, 2 white, and then 2 light gray. So now we're done with the left, right, and front of the build. All we need to do is the back, which is fairly easy to do, and then we can worry about interior stuff. So for the back of the build, the hardest part of the back is adding the glass and the patterns in. So that's what we're just gonna do first. On the left and right arms, we're gonna put 2 flat. Then on the left arm, we're gonna put 1 light gray below the right block. And on the right arm, we're gonna put 1 light gray below the left block. So you can see they're exact opposites of each other. So if I say something goes on the left block, it goes on the right block, and the opposite, so forth. So on the left arm, we're gonna put 1 white wool filling in this row. We're then gonna go below that, 2 flat white wool, then 1 gray, 1 white, 1 white, 1 gray, 2 sets of white. Then we're gonna go gray, white, and 2 white. That's it for the left arm. Right arm, we're gonna go and do that right now. To the right of where we have this single, we're gonna put 1 white wool. And let's just start bringing it down. From there, we're gonna have 2 white, white, light gray, white, 2 white, white, light gray, white, light gray, and then 2 white. Now to finish off this build, we're just going to do the chest, or the back, sorry, and the back of the head. And the back of the head should be all light gray, but there's just going to be a little piece of mirror stuff there, so that's what I'm going to worry about doing. But let's do the back first. So for the back, starting from the bottom row, we're going to have 2 light gray, and then 4 white, and then 2 light gray again. Next row is going to have 1 light gray, 6 pieces of glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1 light gray again. Row after that, it's gonna have 1 light gray, 1 glass, 1 white, 2 glass, 1 white again, 1 glass, and then 1 light gray. And I'm sorry for all this pattern stuff. I just wanted it to look nice for you guys. I do like the way it looks when it's done, but I realized that if I just did the whole thing light gray, it would be a lot easier on you guys. But, you know, nothing comes easy if you want it to look nice, and I'm pretty sure people would be jealous if you had this in your survival world. It's a very nice house. Also, Entity 303 is a very good, like, creepypasta at the moment. So, for the next row, we're going to have light gray, then white, then 4 light gray, then white, then light gray. And just for the record, going up the entire side, all left and right blocks are light gray, so it's a lot easier. The center blocks right here aren't going to be light gray, so I'm going to just take those out from now. But the left and the first and final block are always going to be light gray. So you can just, like, if you don't have that filled in, just do it right now. It's very easy to do. Next row, it's going to be 3 light grays, 1, 2, 3, 2 white, then 3 light grays again. Then the row after that, we're going to copy this exact mirror up at the top. So what we're going to do is 6 flat pieces of glass. The end pieces of glass are going to get 1 above them. And then the 2 center blocks are going to get 1 above each of those. Exact same copy of the glass mirror down here, or I'm sorry, window. And we're going to have the same white walls above these extra blocks as well before we start the next row. So starting the final row, the next 3 rows are going to be all filled with white wool. So you can just fill them in now, and you're done with the back. And then we can move on to the head, and we will be done with the build. If you guys want to do interior on your own, you can do that. Otherwise, I will show you a little bit of the interior stuff I did. I didn't add any detail, but I did make it so that you could put like stairs and stuff inside. So for the back of the head, all we're going to do is skip to the second row and put 2 light gray, 4 pieces of glass, then 2 light gray. Then on each end of the light gray, so the first and last block gets 1 glass above it, and then the back of the head is going to be completely filled in with light gray after that. And then you are done with the survival house, and we can enter through the front door, and I will show you some stuff you can do to make it look a little bit nicer. So if you want to stop here, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more pixel art tutorials. I might be trying more survival houses in the future. As you can see, if you're watching at the beginning of the build, I did have like a Stampy cake house and a Dan TDM and a minecart thing, but I'm going to try those out and make them perfect before I send them in, and I might even just do them as statues. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. We're going to jump into the interior stuff right now though. So entering through the front door, if you did everything how I did, you should have these support beams here. You can knock those out. They don't need to be here. This corner block right here, since this is from the inside, you don't need these corner blocks here. And you can do this to the opposite side as well. Just make sure every block that doesn't need to be here is knocked away. So these corner blocks right here don't need to be here at all, because you can't see them from the outside. Same with these blocks right here at the top. So make sure you get those. Perfect. So now what we're gonna do is we can scrap our entire inventory. You guys can color the floor if you want with like wool or something, but what I'm gonna do is grab black stained glass, and at height level we're gonna punch this out in the fist right here and just put black stained glass so you can see out through the fists. Just lighten up the house a little bit, make it look like not so cramped. Then what we're gonna do is grab quartz slab and quartz staircase, and what I want you to do is on both sides, so you can do this on both sides, we're going to count from the wall over 3 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, and on that 3rd block we're going to put a quartz staircase on the floor facing this direction. We're going to climb up like if we're doing it, like if we're going up a staircase like this, and have a second stair like that. Then on the 3rd block in the wall corner right here, we're just going to put a piece of slab staircase. And then we're going to turn upward and start going inward like this. So it's a very weird angle. Oops, I can't get the proper angle going. Just see, there we go. And I don't believe I did that correct. I think this is supposed to be level, yeah. The slab is supposed to be level with the top block in the 2nd staircase like this. Perfect. And once you have that, you should have, it should only be 5 blocks long, by the way. You can level out the 2nd floor of the house with this. So we can grab light gray or white wool. I'm gonna grab light gray, I guess. And you can, if you do this to both sides, you should be able to have like flooring like this thick. So this is like the 2nd level, and you're gonna be at height level with the window. See? So what you can actually do is even extend this over so that it only covers parts that aren't like gonna block you from climbing the staircase, and you should be fine. So let's extend this over on both sides, and let's actually build this staircase too. So we're gonna count 3 over from the wall. So we're gonna start from there. 1, 2. 3rd block's gonna be level, or the slab's gonna be level with the top block here. Then we're gonna climb up the staircase here. 3, 4, and that's equal on both sides. Now we're gonna grab some stair ladder stuff, and what you want to do if you want to have a 3rd level for where you go to the head, from both sides of this window we can just raise a ladder going up, and that should only be about 5 ladder. If you're doing this in a survival world, kudos to you. Like I wouldn't do this in a survival world, but maybe I will do this in a survival world actually. And then you can fill up the 3rd level with every block just to have like a ground level, except for blocks covering the ladder, so that you can climb up here and maybe have a bed and stuff, and you can look around. You can see through the left, right. You can't see the front. Maybe if you guys don't care too much about the detail of the final build or product, you can go up here and knock out one of the blacks and just put window right here. But I liked it the way it was. But yeah, if you guys finish this build, be sure to tweet me the finished product and tell me how you guys like this tutorial. This was my first time doing one of these, so it was a little bit long, but hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I think it came out nicely. So let's get a nice front view of the build. Yeah, it looks nice. So if you did enjoy this this statue or the survival house, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Also tell me what I should build next in the description below. This is Phoenix, and as always, I will see you guys later. Bye.